Hi, this is Chris Voss from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com. Coming here with a blog post that I want to share with you. This is a very important concept when it talks about partners and entrepreneurs or being in business. The video below that I put on this blog is actually a video from one of the original charter members, one of the original formers of Apple Computers. You may have heard of them. He basically owned 10% of stock in the company. Prior to this owning an interest in Apple, he started his own business and had some horrible negative experiences, I guess, with it. And when he came to Apple, he started getting cold feet after the first few months. He quit, took $800 for his 10% share, which is now worth $22 billion. And he quit because he was so emotionally crippled by his prior failure as a business person. Now, some things to note here. Quitting is a horrible thing to do, especially if you haven't seen something fail or not. I mean, if something's failed like 100 times, maybe you should think about quitting. But entrepreneurs, especially serial entrepreneurs, especially successful entrepreneurs, you'll find are serial entrepreneurs. They try over and over and over again. I heard once that stories of, I believe it's Fred Smith of FedEx, where they get planes repossessed and they had all sorts of problems over and over again. I heard that the Domino's had filed bankruptcy 12 times before they finally got their model to work. Failure is a constant in being an entrepreneur and being successful. So you've got to constantly be doing it, and you're going to sometimes start a lot of businesses that fail, and then finally one clicks. But it's all that information that you learn that makes the difference. In this case, man, I'd be kicking myself for the last however long Apple's been in business for quitting. But that's basically what he did. He was emotionally crippled by his business, or intellectually crippled by his prior business experience, and it hurt him in being able to stay with Apple. The reason I bring this up is it's very important, not only for yourself, but for your partners. We've all been in a situation with bad partnerships. You really have to look at your partners when you go into business with them and kind of measure their mettle and their ability to have a backbone, because they've got to be able to handle stuff, and they can't be quitters. Now, in this case, he had a very minimal stake in Apple. But imagine if Woz, who was his other partner, or Steve Jobs, who was his other partner, had quit. How much would have made a difference in the success of Apple in the long run? So, your partners, your weakest link, can sometimes be the thing that will actually kill your business. We've had businesses that we've gone into with partners and find out that our real partner is someone's wife, which is always an interesting thing to have happen, or one of their crazy idiot business friends has their ear and is telling them the most stupidest stuff in the world. And that can make a difference too. Sometimes you have more partners than you realize. A lot of people don't see that, and I've actually advised people on different situations. Sometimes they have a successful business, they get married, and they find out that the new married person is now a new business partner, and the other partners that are in the relationship are going, I guess we have a new business partner, or what should we do with this? So it's a very delicate thing that you need to take a look at. Are your partners quitters? Do they quit a lot? Do they have a backbone? Do they have a strong metal? M-E-D-D-L-E. Because that makes a huge difference. I look very quietly and I watch my future partners, my potential future partners, and I try and get a good idea as their personality, their backbone, how well they can stick with tasks, how well they can really achieve what they want to do. And that goes into my decision making. Believe me, and this is a story of my life, if you can measure the times where I've not been as successful as I wanted to be in business, it's usually from the failure of a partner that's undercut me or held me back or held me down. 110% of the time. Your partners can kill you. They can put you out of business. They can cost you a fortune. So you need to make sure that the people you're doing business with are very good. There's a lot of partners that I've met, or potential partners I've met, that I've actually said, you know what, this person would do better working for me as an employee as opposed to owning a stake in my company, because they don't have that mettle. So take a look at this. This is a perfect example of a great company that came, and this guy missed an incredible lifetime opportunity, but he was a quitter. So the first lesson is, don't be a freaking quitter. You're not going to be successful as an entrepreneur if you're going to be a quitter. Now, there's lots of examples in Silicon Valley and business around the world about how a lot of people have quit doing businesses, but they've gone on to build other successful businesses. This is someone who obviously was self-limited by their experience. The third thing that I want to get to in this video is I've been in relationships, in partnerships, where someone's had prior baggage that they're bringing to the relationship, where they're limited by their emotional or their intellectual damage, where my prior business didn't work out, and oh my God, it's going to happen again. And, you know, you try and work with those people and go, okay, so let's make sure we don't bring all that baggage into the new company. This is a new company, fresh start. Let's not have that impact us. And you know what? They'll bring that up. So you've really got to take that into context when you're looking at partners. Are they going to drag in all that old baggage and go, oh, I invested with the wrong people and they sold for me and it didn't work out and all that kind of crap. Hey, you know what? This is a new business. This is a new group of people. Try again. See if it makes it work. Grow up. Put the past behind you. It's very important that you do that. Otherwise, you just end up wrecking the new business with your baggage and your damage. And I've seen that in companies. And it's very unfortunate because usually what's interesting about those people is they end up screwing the business up with their baggage, and then they keep being able to go around and go, oh, it never works out for me. That's because you never shut up and you never grow up and you never get that baggage put behind you. Start new with your new projects. If you're in a new relationship, start new with your new relationships. Don't carry your baggage around because it does limitate you. Anyway, thanks for coming by the ChrisVossShow.com. Choose your partners very carefully. Very carefully. They will determine whether you're successful or not. Make sure they're not quitters. Make sure they've got a backbone and strong metal. If not, just make them employ. Thanks for coming by.